Hey everybody, in for the good weekend. I'm sure it's Friday. Hope you have a fantastic day and an even better weekend. We've got an exciting service on Sunday. We're contemplating heaven and the wonder of what that is. And I'm really excited for the culmination of our study of the book in Hebrews of the better country, a better place, and this place called heaven. So if you can meet with us, if you want to join with us online, or if you can make it to church, the worship is going to be amazing, and I hope that we can really do justice to this beautiful theme. Anyway, that's for Sunday. Today is Friday. Let's talk about King David, or the king that is about to be. David had found himself comfort in the arms of the enemy. He went there to get away from Saul, who was continually after him and wanted to do him in. And David became very familiar with King Achish. In fact, in the chapter it says King Achish really liked David. Even though we read behind the lines and we know that David was doing stuff that King Achish did not know about. But King Achish actually asked David if he would be his personal bodyguard and he would look after him. David, of course, said absolutely. But then an interesting thing happened. King Achish, who is the king of the Philistines, had to fight with King Saul, who was David's nemesis, as it were. So Saul now is panicking. He doesn't know where David really is. He knows he's somewhere out there with the Philistines. But now David would have got to have to fight against his own people. But the interesting thing is that Saul is in a total dilemma. He sees the Philistine army, and they're a formidable army. So he does the stupidest thing that he could possibly do. He gets into the occult, and he goes to see the witch of Endor. And he says to the witch of Endor, he's disguised himself so she doesn't know who it is. She says, I want you to call up Samuel. Now Samuel was the prophet, the priest, and he was the incredibly used of God man. And so this witch, not knowing that Saul was who he was, went and called up Samuel. Now, I need to just clarify here. In no ways do we justify at all anything to do with the occult. These spirits and these foreign things that happens and all these hoogly-googly things, people, they're not the people that you think they are. If people say, I'm calling up my mother or your uncle or your dead dog, people don't believe them. There are mimics out there. Satan has an amazing ability to be able to fake it. But on this particular occasion, Samuel, the real Samuel, did come up. And God released Samuel from wherever Samuel was, and he said, go and attend to Saul. Samuel stood before Saul, and he said, Saul, now you have really blown it. Oh, says Saul, I just want to find out whether I should go and fight against the Philistines. I really just don't know, and I thought you would be able to help me. And Samuel says, now today, your kingdom is really taken from you. It's only downhill now, Saul, because you have so gone in the face of everything that you know to be true. You've gone in the face of Jehovah, your God, who you've seen evidence of. You've gone in the face of the laws that you know that God has put into place. You've gone in the face of the very specific law that says people who go to witches and that kind of thing are to be stoned. Saul, you have really blown it. Saul is devastated. And Samuel gives him this verbal hiding, and Saul just can't believe that Samuel's going to leave him, and he holds on, and they tear Samuel's robe. Saul is so desperate for the blessing of God. Man, if only we were as desperate for the blessing of God as he was for the word from Samuel, that would be a great thing. But you've got to get it the right way. People, let me just say to you, any shape or form of occultic behavior, no matter how apparently attractive it may look, and how you may make up your little stories about it and the little things here, and she said this and he said that, and this is what happened. People, do not get into that stuff. That is just giving Satan just that little foothold in your life that ultimately can become a stronghold if you don't deal with it before it becomes that. So I'm pleading with you today, don't get involved with that stuff. It has nothing good to offer you. It can only bring pain. You want a great example of that? King Saul's your man. Great pain, as if his pain of his life wasn't enough. Now he really clinched the pain deal. His kingdom was going to be taken from him. He would die a miserable death, and the end would not be good or pretty at all. I got to tell you, people, I've seen this enacted in people's lives. People who've gone into the occult thinking that it is harmless, thinking that there's nothing really to it. It's a foothold that becomes a stronghold that will lead to a miserable, miserable ending. So I tell you today, please be very careful, be very aware. Keep yourself pure, keep yourself away from that stuff. Let's continue just to trust God. Let's not trust that stuff, for goodness sake. Let's not go into that enemy's camp to that degree that we're asking him advice. For goodness sake, why would we want to do that? Get out of that enemy camp, because that's not where you want to be. Anyway, on that note, let's go out and save the world, people. And you have a great day, and you keep trusting God. He's got it all covered. He's on your side, and it's going to be fine. Have a fantastic time today. Cheers. Bye.